Today is Wednesday, September 19th, and someone has flipped the switch, guys. It has taken on off. These stocks are losing their minds. We are seeing big time rips. We are seeing big time spikes, and this is what I love. These are the conditions I live for, and this is why I get so excited every single morning, waking on up and being able to trade with you guys. It doesn't matter where we look. We are starting seeing IPCI go on a nice big rip. We have seen ALT go on a nice big rip. We saw MTEM have a nice gap up and go on a big time rip this morning. We had TLRY go on a $75 gap up this morning. NBEV has gone on a very nice climb of 42% this morning. It is just going everywhere. We're seeing off the charts activity. VKTX, make its move back on up today over on VKTX. So many different plays. So much activity today. I'm waiting, as I said, for the afternoon because I have a cash account right now and I have full funds. So I have over $50,000 to go ahead and trade with. And I want to see which stock is going to be finishing off the day strong. And I want to swing that one overnight to look for a big time gap up. Now, I do have a couple options I do want to look at. And if you guys are watching and listening, I want to talk about all the possible swings that we could be going after today. Number one, what could we go after today, especially in this afternoon for a swing trade overnight? For a nice gap up to make some nice profit. VKTX. VKTX, why? Yesterday, this stock came out with news. What was its news? Positive phase 2 data. One of the best press releases you guys can see. So it came out with positive phase 2 data, had a nice big gap up right here, 15 bucks. The stock finished off the day with a little bit of red, still a gain of 87% on the day. Now the stock is slowly starting to move on up from what a U-shaped pattern. We have our nice initial climb. U-shape starts forming. A break of where? 2050. The stock has moved all the way up towards around 2160. I've been talking about 2050 break throughout the whole entire morning. Right here is an absolute great area to look for a nice buy. Break of top morning resistance. 2050 was also yesterday resistance at a few different areas. It was actually a little bit higher, up towards around 2060, excuse me, but 2050 this morning was a great area to look for that buy. And as you guys can see, right when it broke that 2050 mark, that's where it went on a nice big rip. If it comes back on down, watch for some bounce plays along 2050. But via KTX, with this positive top of the line data right here, we could easily see this stock have a nice gap up tomorrow, run all the way back up to $24, $25 plus. I always compare this to, other past chart history patterns. ALDX came out with positive phase 2 data, and it has something along the similar pattern where we have a big gap up because we came out with positive phase 2 data. The stock has a fall back on down. Why does it fall back on down? Because it had such a big gap up. We have our consolidation day, and the stock has a gap up and go on a nice big rip because it has positive phase 2 data. Dek, well, why didn't it go on the big time rip on this initial day? Because as we know, when we have big time gap ups, a lot of times people take profit, which leads to selling, shorters take over, and it just really can't get that momentum. The next day forming consolidation shows that the stock is strong, and then it usually goes on a nice climb. So if I'm looking at VKTX, I see what? We have a big time gap up. The stock goes a little bit red. Today, consolidating, and we're looking for our next leg on up. I really don't want this one to explode upwards today. I don't want it to go crazy. I want it to stay a little bit more on a little green and then go on a nice big rip. And then go on a nice big pop, overnight, and then get a nice big spike tomorrow. VKTX, definitely a stock I want to be watching. Definitely a stock I want to be looking at. Definitely a play I want to be ready for. After that, TLRY. TLRY. This thing has been an absolute beast. Absolute beast. Absolute monster. Huge climber this morning. This gapped up $75. Even more than that a little bit overnight. It's one of the biggest gap ups I've seen, and it's one of the biggest overall climbs I've seen in about a month and a half. Stock going from around 25 bucks all the way up to hitting highs of 240 in pre-market. Are you kidding me? That's how people's lives have changed. In a month, you have 1,000 shares at 25 bucks and you're up $220,000. It's absolutely great. So TLRY, out of our morning newsletter, we had this one. This stock is one of the best climbers I've seen over the past month. It's moved to $25 and now $225. We are seeing a massive gap up this morning. And as long as the stock stays on the green side, it's good to go. When we get that first big red day, we may start seeing shorters and sellers come on in. But right now, it's still a very hot stock. We did see a pretty nice drop at the start of the day. But if, TLRY can start, getting back to the green side, we could possibly see another big gap up overnight. We could possibly see another big time move overnight. And as we know, TLRY right here, this is kind of the big head daddy. CNBC, we're talking about TLRY today. They're saying, wow, this thing is huge. TLRY, this stock is surging 40% in early trading, talking about having a 50% in pre-market, talking about pot stocks going parabolic. These pot marijuana stocks, they are catching a little bit of fire now, right? They're catching a little bit of a burn. So this is why TLRY right now is just going absolutely insane. These just this hot pot sector, and as we know, guys, with the hot pot sector going, there's also plays that follow it, like IGC. IGC had a nice gap up this morning, and this stock is basically going sideways, kind of following what TLRY is doing, right? This is Snoop Dogg. This is Wiz Khalifa. They're basically following each other right here. You got your grandpappy right here. You got the son. All right. You also have a little bit of CRON, which has been going off the same exact thing. This is a little bit more of an uptrend right here, but CRON, same exact thing, following that whole entire TLRY phase. So CRON, IGC, TLRY, all very hot stocks that you guys got to be ready for. Very hot stocks that you guys got to be watching. What else did we see this morning? We saw NBEV. NBEV go on a nasty run and a nasty climb. NBEV, we talked about this stock. This stock has been a top gainer the past 2 days in a row now. It started this morning with a 22% gap up, and this stock has room to run all the way up to 360, the old chart resistance. This is a 28 million in float stock running off of that Coca-Cola rumor. Coca-Cola was talking about, maybe looking to buy out NBEV, and that's why NBEV has just been going up, up, up. We broke through 360, and where did it get all the way up to? 420. Now we know 420 is going to be holding up as resistance because we scroll back a little bit on the chart and we see 420 was held up here, 420 was held up here, 420 was held up here, 420 was held up here. Why did we say 360 before? Again, 360 is right here. 360 was held up here, 360 was held up here, and 360 is also this chart right here, this high. So 360 was a tough one. Broke through it pretty nicely though. Broke through it pretty nicely. It did hit it once though, 360, came back down, broke through it, ran up to 420. If it breaks through 420, what's next? $5, third strongest resistance line. Right now, again, this trend line really isn't in play for it anymore. It's more inside of a channel now, where we have 385 and we have up towards around 420. So we'll see if this stock could break outside this channel, this afternoon to see if it could go on a nice move, get its next leg on up, and possibly be pushing up towards around $5 in the near future. So NBEV, definitely a stock we got to be watching. After that, what else do we have to be watching, guys? MTEM, very nice rip and run today. This stock had a very nice gap up this morning, and we could look at a couple different patterns we see right here. First off, this stock, had a very nice red to green move. I know a red to green move, it's usually counted as the previous close. I count a red to green move as the break of the open. The stock opened up at 640, U-shaped on down, break of the open, going from the red side on the day to the green side of the day. That's where the stock, brought in a lot of big time hype. I know technically it's not on the red side of the day. I'm just saying it's below its open. So it breaks the open, gets a nice rip, gets a nice run, big time buying volume comes in. Absolutely great. The stock comes back down, bounces where? Off old resistance. Old resistance holds up as new support. The stock starts building higher lows, forms a trend line. Once the trend line cracks, the stock is now done, right? Why did the stock start falling at around the 740-ish mark? It was getting close to the 200-day moving average. Some people start getting scared. But right now, again, we'll see if it's going to be able to climb its way back on up. But it is looking a little bit weaker as the stock is basically just a big doji star at this time. Not really any sort of buyers, not really any sort of sellers, just kind of moving sideways. After that, what else do we have? ALT. Something we definitely have to watch this afternoon. I'm looking forward to this afternoon on ALT. This stock came out with a reverse stock split. Reverse stock split on ALT. And this stock the last few days has been falling. But today, it just started picking on up. It started getting some hype. It's already gone from $4.29 all the way up to, upwards of $9. I would like this to close down towards around $7.65 and make this my possible swing overnight. I've seen stocks many times, be able to fall, get a little bit of hype, and this is basically like one big U-shaped pattern. But I want to fall back here and then basically start fresh tomorrow on a big time rip and run. So ALT, I like this play. I think it has a lot of good time potential, but I would like this to dump as low as it possibly can now instead of keep on ripping. But ALT with 473,000 in float and under 1 million in float stock, up 100% top gainer right now with a lot of eyes towards it. It could possibly run even more up towards $10, $12, $13, by lunch hours. It could. Got to keep it on watch. Hopefully we get a little bit of a fade, but we'll see what's coming up on next on this play over on ALT. Because again, who knows? Who knows the low float, low volume, large spread play? They definitely get crazy. It's the same exact setup that we're looking at on IPIC. IPIC, or excuse me, not IPIC. I apologize. Where is it? IPCI. Reverse stock split. Stock gapped on up, starts falling back on down. Low float stock starting to move up. Low spread, larger volume. Stock is up, 10% right now, but it's gone from 250 all the way up towards around 309. So just a little bit of like a mini me right there. We got a lot. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of ripping. There's a lot of spiking. There's a lot of popping. There's a lot of opportunity to make profit today, guys. There's a lot of opportunity to make profit. There's a lot of opportunity to come out on top, a lot of opportunity to grow your account. Be ready. And on top of that, be confident. Don't be scared. Don't hesitate. You guys have studied the video library, 200 hours in our video library on Dekmar Trades. You guys have been here listening to me every single day. Do not let emotions take over. Do not let it change your trading. Do not let it blind you from the fact of what you need to do and what you need to get done. Go into a trade, knowing what to do, having a game plan, and stick to that game plan. There's a lot of stocks ripping, as we already talked about. ALT, MTEM, NBEV, IGC, CRON, TLRY, a lot of different plays. Just be ready for every single one of them because any of them can rip at any moment. We also have a lot of IPOs that have been dropping lately. XYF, the stock just came out with an IPO, $15, sprinted up to $20. It did crash back down to $13. Money to be made in both manners. NIO, this stock could possibly start U-shaping soon. This could be a possible swing trade. U-shape on up. We have our U-shape starting to form. This could be our base in our next 2 days. We start making our move. Right? How often do we see U-shapes? All the time. U-shape, we got our nice rip right here. U-shape on up. We get our next leg on up for our breakout where the stock explodes to the upside. We have our nice rip right here. We have our U-shape. We have our base. And now we could see some possible green days as the stock explodes all the way on up. A lot of stocks. A lot. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm fired up. And the amount of money, I've been seeing you guys bring in today, it's absolutely great. I love showing these off. $1,000, $90, $300, $1,200 right here. $184, 72 bucks, $4,689, $4,680, $690, $240. Paper trade right here, $2,800, but that's going to be real money one day. $430, $450, $351, $700, $93, $110, $209, $940, $1,250, $553. The list goes on and on, guys. You guys absolutely deserve it. So awesome work for everyone making some big time profit. You guys deserve it. You guys pulled the trigger. Give yourself the credit. No need to ever say thanks again. You guys are the ones putting in the work and actual pulling the trigger, pressing buy and pressing sell. I'm so excited for the future. I'm so excited what's coming on up. This is the fall trading I absolutely love, and it's only going to get more exciting. It's only going to get hotter for us every single day. So get excited, guys. Stay enthusiastic and get motivated because right now is your time to trade.